Hey guys, welcome to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. If you want to lose weight, increase your energy, improve your health and fitness, and look your best, then you have come to the right place. My name is Tyson Brown. I'm a personal trainer, and my job is to help you transform your body by sharing with you the most up-to-date information on health and fitness. I'm going to distill it all down for you into bite-sized actionable steps that you can take immediately to see results quickly. Now, every Tuesday and Thursday, you can expect a brand new episode, which will be a mixture of interviews with top experts from around the world in the fitness space, and as well as solo episodes from myself, sharing with you exactly what action steps you need to take to transform your health, your body, and your life. Also, don't forget to listen all the way to the end of the show, because in the middle, I'm going to share with you a time-saving tip, and it might just be a game changer. I know you're short on time, and this one can save you a lot of time and a lot of energy. So, let's get into the show. What's going on, guys? It is Tyson Brown here, and we are back with another episode of Tyson's Fitness Tips. So today I've decided to bring on a pretty special guest who I actually got to meet the other week for the first time, which is really cool. He is the author of the book, The Perfect Day Formula, which is pretty much transformed how productive and how much shit I've been able to get done in the last, I would say, about 18 months. Of just pure focused work in the morning, because you guys see that I'm up at 4:30 every morning getting stuff done, and Craig is a big influence of that. So I wanted to bring him on today and talk to you guys about how you can be more productive when it comes to your health and fitness. So Craig, welcome on the show. I really appreciate you coming today. How you doing?
Oh man, really fantastic. This is going to be so much fun, Tyson.
It's going to be awesome, buddy. So Craig, for the people who don't know you, because I'm talking about this from a productivity stand of view, why don't you give us a bit of background about, what you did before you were in the productivity side of things?
Yeah, well, I was in the fitness space, real heavily for about 15 years. From about 2000 to 2015, I was writing for Men's Health magazine. I'm sure some of my articles got put in Men's Health Australia. I sold a lot of workshop programs, a lot of workout programs to people in Australia. I had many people in Australia win my transformation contest, so it was really great, and people from all over the world, obviously, and I know you have global listeners. And so I was basically selling my workout programs. It's kind of like the leader in the anti-cardio movement and the short burst workout movement for a long, long time, and just helped so many people with my follow-along videos. I've got a couple that have been watched over 2 million times on YouTube, and it's just been really, really great to help people get fit. And I love doing what you do and connecting with people and showing them that it's a simple way to get in shape, and you can still eat great food. Like you and I had some pizza in New York City, and we're still lean because it's all part of the lifestyle.
Absolutely. I think that's a big component about integrate. People think that health and fitness has got to be separated from your lifestyle, but it's more of an integral practice that you've got to be able to mesh together because it's part of everything, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's really fantastic is that, both you and I had some amazing times in New York City. You basically ate your way through New York City trying out all the restaurants, especially the ones you don't have back home. And, you still are able to go home feeling great and looking great because, again, it's all calculated as to how that will fit into your regular lifestyle. And you are a great, great leader in this area. And I think it's awesome that you give these tips out in these interviews because it shows people, no matter where they're starting, that they can make incredible changes. But again, not have to give up social evenings out, not have to give up everything in order to enjoy life.
Absolutely. And when it comes to that, Craig, so the reason I kind of wanted to talk about it today is because being able to integrate health and fitness into people's lives can be a struggle at first, but I feel like the Perfect Day Formula, the book that you wrote, can be applied to losing weight. And I just wanted you to, when we go over that, how do you think someone can start that habit first thing in the morning to become successful with their health and fitness?
Oh, it's a great question. And a lot of the principles in the book actually came from my weight loss transformation contest. We can talk about the 5 pillars in a bit, but they were a huge, huge part. They're the middle section of the entire book, and those will help people be successful in any area of life, just like how they will help people be successful with the weight loss. And what I found is, if you want to get up and you want to do amazing stuff early in the day, like make exercise a habit, what you need to do is simply prepare the night before. And whether you want to get up and study the Bible first thing in the morning, or write a book first thing in the morning, or work out first thing in the morning. It all starts with proper preparation the night before. So planning exactly what you're going to do, what you want to get done, and then making it easy to do that in the morning. And so for a lot of people who are just getting started, putting out your exercise clothes beside the bed is a really cool little tip that helps you stick to your program and not get off track. So you wake up in the morning, the clothes are right there, you put them on, and you're ready to go. And so that's how someone can make it part of the morning. Now, you'd also need to set out whatever workout program you're going to do, or you'd have to hire a trainer so you have the accountability. But it's all part and parcel. It can all be done. It all works. And I'm just so excited to share this type of stuff with people, because everything can be simplified and everything can work, and it's just really, really awesome. And I want everyone to know that.
Awesome. So the perfect morning actually starts with the night before. Like you said, it's all about the planning to get that, get it sorted ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what I've done for myself is, I'm a writer. So I write first thing in the morning, and right now it's the end of the day for me. So I just planned out my writing for the next day, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm not going to have any temptations or obstacles block me from my writing. And then once I've done the writing, I've won the morning. Whatever else happens, I'm ahead of the game. And it's the same with someone who has the exercise as their goal. You get up, you have the exercise clothes, you go and do it, and you just feel great. It kicks you off to a great start, and you keep the momentum going into the next thing, which would probably be breakfast. So you eat a good breakfast, and that keeps you going into the next thing, which is going to be another victory of getting to work on time. And then you have a good victory there, and then so on and so forth. It's that snowball. And there's this real famous guy named Bill Phillips who started the transformation contest scene back in the 1990s, and he was talking about breakfast. He said, if you eat a good breakfast and it just puts you on the right path, and you will say to yourself, well, I ate a great breakfast, so I don't want to mess it up at lunchtime, and then so on and so forth, for the rest of the day. So that's the way I approach it, and that's the way I want everyone to approach it, is that you can kick off your day and get the ball rolling and have more success when you do that first thing right.
Yeah, of course, and that makes so much sense. Once you knock down that first domino, your day just gets better and better and better when you keep on that positive progression.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you don't, you knock down a domino on the negative side, and it just throws off your day. So commit to doing the exact thing that you want to do first thing. Make it really easy by planning the night before, and then you will have a lot of success.
So I just want to go over one more thing about that, Craig. You say, okay, let's plan the night before, let's get up early, let's go. But what about, it's winter here in Australia, we don't want to get up out of the warm bed. How do you get yourself straight out of bed and into that first most important task?
Well, it's a great question. And a good friend of mine, he's my coach, he's my client, and he's one of my best friends, a guy named Bedros Koulian, says, don't hit the snooze button. Never hit the snooze button, because when you hit the snooze button, you're telling your hopes and dreams that they can wait. And nobody's going to tell their hopes and dreams that they can wait. So every morning when I get up, it doesn't even matter if it's the summertime, when it's sun shining. Some days you just want to sleep in because you're tired. But I never hit the snooze button. If I set the alarm for a certain time, I get up at that time, because I always have my friend Bedros' voice saying, hey, if you hit the snooze button, buddy, you're weak. You're ruining your day, you're sending that first domino down the negative path, and you're telling your hopes and dreams that they can wait. And I know you're better than that. So I always get up. I never, ever lie around in bed. And one thing that I do that anybody can copy is to put the alarm clock across the room on the other side of the room. Or you could simply use some other type of alarm. Like there's these things called a Philips light alarm that wakes the room, that just naturally puts light into the room, so you can do that. You don't have to have a loud alarm, but there's a whole bunch of ways to wake up and not hit the snooze button. So you got to do it. You got to commit to it, and you got to go for it, and you got to use that as the thing that pushes you on to getting the momentum going.
Awesome. I love it. And I'm a big fan of that no snooze button too. So I guess, guys, the big practical thing, first of all, is to make sure you plan the night before. But number two, when you put your phone on charge, if it's giving you an alarm, if you've got an actual alarm, do not put that alarm in arm's reach. Make yourself physically have to get out of bed to turn that alarm off, because if you get out of bed, you're already out. You're in the cold, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's a great point. And people who are familiar with Tony Robbins knows that he tells you to change your state as soon as you get up first thing in the morning. And he goes and jumps in a pool of cold water. Now, I'm not ready to do that, but I will tell you one thing. You can put your face in cold water and wake up. Every morning when I wake up, I get into the bathroom as soon as possible, put cold water on my face, put the lights on, and just totally change my state so that I am awakened as fast as possible. I try not to stay in the temptation zone of going back to bed, because I remember when I was younger, I could even get up, go across the room, turn off the alarm, and go back to bed. But now I'm committed, and I'm not going to let that stop me.
That's awesome. That's actually, that's a big point too. Like, getting straight up and getting, like you said, changing your state. When you got that cold water, that'll wake you up faster than any coffee. You'll be awake, you'll be alert, and you'll be ready to rock and roll.
That's right.
Cool. Now, you said there are some other pillars of success that are really, really important too, Craig. So do you want to share those pillars with us, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 5 pillars of success are the middle section of my book, and they came from my weight loss transformation clients. And so over the years in the fitness industry, I ran 32 before and after contests. And again, I've had winners all over Australia, from Bondi Beach up the Gold Coast and down in Melbourne and all over. And I think even over in Perth. And I just love the people from Australia because they were so committed and so much into the community aspect, which is one of the pillars of success. So the 5 pillars go like this, Tyson, and it starts off with better planning and preparation than ever before. That's pillar number 1. And you can see how that would apply to weight loss, because you're going to do better planning and preparation for your nutrition and workouts, but also for writing a book or becoming a better salesperson or even improving a relationship. You need to be better prepared than ever before. The second pillar is having professional accountability. This is like having a coach in your life, and we all need coaches. Coaches are going to give us expert advice, and they're going to give us no holds barred accountability. They're not going to let us away with any excuses, and you absolutely have to have a coach. Whether you're running a marathon, losing weight, building your business, you always need to have a coach, and that's why you were over in America. You were getting coaching because that's a really smart thing to do, and it was a big sacrifice on your part, but it was absolutely the best thing for you because it opened up your opportunities in life and you got experts from your coaches. So that's the second pillar, is professional accountability. The third pillar is positive social support. And this is where the community aspect of it comes in, because positive social support is like having cheerleaders in your life. The people on the side of the road as you run that marathon who are yelling, "You can do it, you can do it." That's what we all need. We all need somebody to pick us up when we're feeling down. I had those people in my life when I went through my anxiety attacks. I had people I could call late in the evening when I wasn't feeling so great, and they would pick me up when I was feeling down. And you need that in your business. You need that in your fat loss program. You need that in your marathon training. So that's the third pillar. The fourth pillar is a meaningful incentive. This is your big why. So why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And what I found was, even though I was giving away a lot of money in my transformation contest, we were giving away like up to $3,000 for the winner. That wasn't why people stuck to the program. The reason why people stuck to the program was because they were doing it for their kids or their spouse, or to have more energy, to live better, or simply because their doctor said, if you don't change, you're going to be in the grave pretty soon. And so that's a meaningful incentive. It's not about money or stuff. It's about people and experiences that will make you change. So whatever it is that our listener friends are wanting to change in their life, whether it's a bad habit like drinking, whether it's getting back in shape, whether it is lowering their cholesterol levels, that is your reason why, is to do it for your family, your friends, or yourself. But it's not about money. And then finally, the fifth pillar is the big deadline. And the big deadline is really, really important, probably the most important of all the pillars, because, first of all, the deadline spurs us to action. Once we know that there's a finish line and we realize, hey, we're running out of time here. I've got 21 days to make this change, or I've got 60 days to win this transformation contest, or I've got 30 days to write these 5 chapters of my book, or else my coach is going to be disappointed in me. So that deadline is really, really key. It gets us going, and then it keeps us going through tough times. So about halfway through any of your challenges and transformations, you're going to be like, oh man, this isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be, or I'm just having a bad day today. But you're halfway through, so you're not going to quit because you put all that work in. And then finally, as the deadline gets closer and closer, we actually work harder and harder, and we get greater results in those final weeks, those final days, those final hours. It works in business. It works in personal development. It works in our relationships. It works for Christmas shopping, and it works for weight loss as well. That deadline is powerful. It gets us to take action. So, Tyson, those are the 5 pillars of success, and you can see how they can be used for anything in life.
Absolutely, and just looking back at these right now, so if I was to think of that, let's say from a weight loss perspective, if I wanted to if I was going to do a 90-day transformation challenge, when it comes to planning, you're going to plan about what days you're going to exercise, what you're going to eat. Your personal accountability would obviously be a coach, the person who's holding it. Your positive social support. So if it's going to be a weight loss challenge, there's most likely going to be a Facebook group or something to support you through this journey, because it's very hard when you have friends who like to eat junk food all the time. But when you're surrounded by that positive accountability and a strong support group, that is what's going to help you through. And you need to have an incentive. Like, you need to know why you're actually doing this challenge. Is it to lose that stubborn fat because you want to look good on the beach? Do you want to be there for your daughter's wedding? What is driving you every day to achieve this goal?
So well said, man. That was so well summed up, and it's exactly how you said it is. And again, I learned those pillars from the people that won my contest. And Tyson, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but if I had 1,000 people join my contest, I would only have about 200 people finish it. So 80% of people dropped out, but the ones that stuck with it had all 5 of those pillars in place every single time.
And that's what makes them stand out, right? That's what makes them the winners at the end of the day. It's because not everyone's going to be able to, like, these pillars you've talked about, they're simple, but they're not always easy to implement and to stick to. But once you start to put them all in place, you're going to realize how powerful they are when you actually start to follow these steps day by day by day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they are, like you said, simple, but not easy. I mean, running a marathon is simple. You just put one foot in front of the other, but it's not easy. And it's the same with these pillars. They do make it easier. They give you a little bit more automatic success. But, I mean, you nailed it. You had a great description of it there, my man.
Absolutely. And so, Craig, obviously, you know, you're a pretty busy guy at the moment. Even though you've been in the health industry for a long time and now you're doing other things too, how do you, so your most important thing you said for you is writing in the morning, right? So how do you integrate your health and fitness? Do you have a certain time of the day where you like to say, all right, this is my time to go to the gym? Or how do you do it for yourself?
Yeah, I generally work out around 11 o'clock in the morning. So I generally live in Eastern Standard Time, which is Toronto, and it's like New York time. And then my team is in Denver, which is a couple hours behind me. So when they get into the office, we have a meeting at about 10:30 my time, and then which is 8:30 their time. And then after that meeting, then I go to the gym, and then I have lunch, and then I check my email, and then in the afternoon I do more calls and meetings, kind of like this one. And I do all of my harder work, my writing, first thing in the morning. And I get all those big victories early in the morning. And fortunately, my schedule is really under my control, so I won't miss those workouts mid-morning. But if, sometimes if I have to, if I have a seminar or something, I'll work out at 5 o'clock in the morning if I'm scheduled for a workout that day. So I always make sure that it gets done, because it's a really, really key part of me having amazing energy and feeling great, and obviously being healthy and fit.
I love it. And like you say that, so you do your exercise most of the time at 11, and that's because that for you is not the hardest thing at the moment. But if someone is struggling to go to the gym, or even if it be meal prep, make sure that is the first thing you guys do in the morning when you get up and you get ready.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because otherwise, as the day goes on, you're going to find excuses to miss that workout. You know, there's a lot of things that come up over the course of the day. And if it wasn't such a habit for me, I know that I would find plenty of excuses not to do that workout. So if it was me and I was just if I was just a beginner, I would definitely do it earlier in the day, because I know the feeling of being tired after work in the afternoon.
Yeah. Now, Craig, what about, we've talked about planning the night before, we've talked about doing the first hardest things, we've talked about your 5 pillars. What about would you recommend a nighttime ritual for someone, or someone to make sure that they're going to be able to wake up fresh and energized in the morning? How do you do that for yourself?
Well, the most important thing that people should do if they're struggling with this is something they probably never heard of before, which is called a reverse alarm. A reverse alarm. And that is a very, very powerful and fun and effective thing to do. And so what a reverse alarm is when you set an alarm for an hour before bed. So let's say you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Okay, great. You set an alarm for 9 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock you shut down all of your electronics, okay? No more reading your iPhone, no more watching television on your iPad, no more watching television at all, no more using your laptop, no more checking emails, no more texting people. You shut down the electronics, and that alone will help you fall asleep on time. But then now you have an hour where you can make your lunch for the next day, maybe do the dishes, clean up. You get to hang out with your kids. You get to hang out with your spouse, your partner. You get to do all these things that are, old school, that don't require electronics and aren't going to mentally stimulate you. And then also read a book for 15 to 20 minutes, and that should knock you out and you're asleep on time. So that will get you to bed on time, because I know when I was younger, especially when I was closer to your age, every morning I'd wake up and I'd be so tired and I'd say, oh, tonight I'm going to go to bed earlier. And I wouldn't, because you go home and there's all these things to do, and the next thing you know, it bleeds into your bedtime. You're like, oh man, I should have been in bed 10 minutes ago, but it's because I didn't use the reverse alarm back there. Finally started doing it, and it totally changed my life. And now I don't need it, but if I ever did get a little bit off track, then I would just implement that system, because it absolutely works.
That's very cool, actually. Yeah, that is. A lot of people would not have heard that term before, so it's a very cool strategy to implement. And I think on that point, though, a lot of people, they try and, if they're going to bed at 12 or 1 o'clock, whatever they're doing, guys, don't try and go, I'm going to start going to bed at 9 o'clock, because that's a 4-hour difference from what you're going to bed at the moment. So make sure, even though you're doing this reverse alarm, make sure it's closer towards where you're going to bed at the moment, and slowly work your way backwards. Because if you try and do it too quickly, you are not going to be able to go to bed 4 hours earlier, because you have things that you're usually doing through that time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people try and do too much too soon at the start. And it's very similar to like taking somebody that only eats pizza and drinks soda pop and then saying, well, you have to eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life. I mean, you're not going to stick to that for very long. So just change your schedule by 10 or 15 minutes at a time, and then every couple of days make it a little bit earlier. But back in the day when I was getting up at 7:30 in the morning and I wanted to get up earlier, I said, hey, you know what, just get up at 7:25 tomorrow. And I did that for a couple of days, and then I got up at 7:20. And then I got up at 7:15, and I slowly worked it back. You don't have to totally change things overnight, because you just won't stick with it if you do.
That's right. Now, Craig, a lot of people are hearing about, like, you're so productive, you're getting all this stuff done, you knock out a lot of tasks, but you weren't always like that, right? It took you time to actually build in that discipline and build in those mental habits day by day. It didn't just happen overnight like you just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely more productive than the average person, but I was not consistent. And the consistency is the key to success in life, whether you're losing weight or being productive. And so, it wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I really built the perfect day formula, which is what I teach everybody now. And you don't have to get up really early in the morning. You don't have to get up early at all. I mean, you can get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and apply my perfect day formula, provided you use the system and provided it works with your schedule. So don't think you have to get up and join the 5 a.m. club or anything. It's not about that. It's not about the hour you get up. It's about what you do with the hours that you are up. And when I started using this system, then that is when, like you said, I started becoming this person that everybody said, oh, you are the most productive person I know. And it's because I really controlled my environment. I got rid of all the distractions and temptations in my environment, and that just makes a huge, huge difference. Very much like when you're trying to eat properly. If you have a house full of junk food, you know what? No one has enough willpower and temptation to not eat their favorite foods once in a while. So you have to get rid of that stuff. And if you get rid of it, then you'll never eat it. And I know that sounds extreme, but listen, if you're serious about this goal, then that's what you have to do. And then it becomes easier over time. So for a while, I set it up where I didn't have the internet at home. And I would work for a couple hours, and I couldn't access any websites. And I was able to get so much work done, and then go into the office where I had access to my email. And that is setting up your environment for success.
Yeah, I love that, Craig. Especially like you said, it's at the end of the day, you cannot willpower yourself every day for the rest of your life to stick to something if your environment is pulling you in the opposite direction.
Totally, you just nailed it, and I hope everyone listening thinks about that for a moment and says, what do I need to remove from my environment to make success easier?
That's actually a really good question to ask. Guys,
yeah, I mean, it's so simple, right? I mean, it's so simple. It might be a negative influence from a buddy who is a good person, well-meaning, but they get you into trouble too much. It might be, no more potato chips in the house, or whatever you guys call them down there. Or it might be saying, no more chocolate bars in the office, and hey, you can't bring in donuts, and just don't bring that stuff around me. And then on the other hand, what can you add to your environment to make success easier? And it's something, it might be something as simple as adding a fruit bowl to your kitchen counter, because research shows that when fruit is available in your eyesight, you're going to eat it more than you're going to eat snacks and candy. So it might be something as simple as that. I mean, there's so many nutrition hacks that you can use to make healthy eating easier, and it's all about controlling your environment.
Perfect. Craig, I think that is a great way for us to end the podcast there, because in the last 30 minutes there's been a lot of powerful tips that you share with us that can completely help change someone's body, their business, and pretty much whatever they want to do in life. Just following those 5 pillars and following what we've talked about is really going to help them.
Oh, absolutely. It's a game changer for any area in your life.
So, before you go, I'm not going to let you go without telling us what's going on with you at the moment. Where can we follow you? What's in your world?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And so I'm working on my next book, which is called Unstoppable. So that'll be out in the fall. It's awesome. It's going to be awesome. But right now, everyone should check out my book, the one that I have out, called The Perfect Day Formula. It's going to help make you more productive. You can find that on Amazon. You can get the audiobook on audible.com. You can get it all over the place. And then if you do live in America, you can get a real cheap version at freeperfectdaybook.com. And then finally, everyone can check me out on Instagram at RealCraigBallantyne.
Great. I'm going to leave all that in the show notes, guys, for you to pick up the book. I highly recommend you get it, because I got an audio and now I got a physical copy from Craig too, which has been bloody awesome. And it's one of the best investments of, you guys talk about books all the time, but honestly, this is one of the best ones I've done. Now, Craig, in regards to your new book coming out, do we just hang around on the Instagram and listen out for it, or can we pre-order? What's going on there?
Well, no, there's no pre-order, but hang around Instagram. And if you can make it to California in November, I'll give you a free copy when you attend my Perfect Life Retreat, which is my big event of 350 high performers, entrepreneurs, executives coming in to learn directly from me. So that's perfectliferetreat.com. You can check that out. We'll have tickets on sale soon, and I'll give you a signed copy in person.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, that is another episode done and dusted. I'd really recommend you probably go back and listen to this 2 or 3 times, take some notes, get on the book, and I tell you, this will be one of the biggest changes you can make in your life to improve your health and fitness. Thanks again for coming on, Craig. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. Now, I've got a special gift for you. If you want to learn how I managed to lose 10 kilos and keep it off, then I've got the perfect treat for you. I've got a free intermittent fasting cheat sheet that I share on my website that shows you exactly how to diet effortlessly with intermittent fasting and fit it into your busy lifestyle. And more importantly, this is the exact guide that I follow every single day that allowed me to lose 10 kilos of body fat and keep it off 4 years later. So head on over to www.tysonbrown.com.au and pick up your free cheat sheet today and learn how to fit intermittent fasting into your life and diet effortlessly. Once again, that's www.tysonbrown.com.au. Opt in for the free cheat sheet and I'm going to send it straight to your inbox for free. Until next time, speak to you guys then.